Hey there, everybody. Thomas with Basecamp Trading. It is Monday, March 26th, and we're going to take a look here at one of the gold trades from earlier today in the futures trading room that worked out really well. And that was a consolidation breakout on the 500 tick chart that led into a 30-minute breakout through resistance. So what we were looking at here in gold was this short-term compression, right, like this. And what we were watching for was either a break through 1347.3, because at the time when we were looking at that, you actually had a head and shoulders pattern forming. Okay, and once we pivoted down, we said, okay, we're going to draw a trend line across the highs here, and if we can break through that trend line for resistance, then we'll actually look for it to continue to move higher, because that would give us a higher low and a higher high, which would change it to an uptrend. So we were looking for either a head and shoulders to break lower through 1347.3, or a break through this trend line here to head higher with an uptrend coming up into a 30-minute resistance break and triggering a 240-minute bullish inflection. Well, obviously you can see we came up and we broke through the resistance here. Now I want to explain kind of what I was looking at when we traded this, because if you recall, if you were in the trading room, the trend line break itself was at 1349.6, but I had mentioned I'm not getting into this until one tick above 1349.8. All right, so we were waiting several ticks until we got up here around 49.9, 1350. And the reason we did that is because we had this previous pivot high just above the trend line. And the reason we wait for that previous pivot high to be broken is because sometimes what will happen is you'll pop through the trend line, hit the pivot high, and turn around and go right back down. In this case, obviously we didn't do that. We popped through the trend line, popped through the resistance, triggered the long entry, and our stop goes down below the previous bar's low. We were risking less than $100 a contract, and you can see it just proceeded to jump through the roof and continued to climb all the way up until we did this little number here, and our momentum started to weaken coming down, and we went from there into consolidation through the rest of the day. So it ended up working out really, really well, but you're talking about a move from 1350 all the way up to a high of 1356, which is about $600 a contract worth of a move there from the breakout point to the highest point of the day before we're breaking out a compression right now to the downside. Overall, though, not a bad trade. Great job to everybody in the trade room that took it with me. It worked out really well. As a whole, remember, when we're looking at these compression patterns, we cannot predict which way it's going to break. All right, you cannot assume that it's going to go down and trigger that head and shoulders. If you assume it's going to go trigger the head and shoulders, you would have had a losing trade. If you wait for the market to actually prove to you, hey, I'm going this way, or hey, I'm going that way, by waiting for it to actually break that support or resistance, you'll increase your probabilities of success much, much higher than you otherwise would have. And that's an expensive lesson to learn for many people, and it was for me years ago, taking trades before they actually triggered, because it goes, oh, that's a really good setup, I think it's going to go break, so we'll go ahead and jump in early. It's always better to wait till it actually triggers. And if you did that today, then you avoided the short setup here. You didn't take the head and shoulders because it never triggered, and you did take the long because it did trigger and took off in our direction. So overall, not a bad day for those of you that were trading with me. I will see many of you in the trading room bright and early tomorrow morning. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more about little hints and nuggets every single day of best types of strategies and things to look for when you're placing trades. But that's it for today. See you in the room tomorrow. And until next time, happy trading, everybody.